Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
On the News Hour tonight, bandits kill 7 people, abduct 20 others in Zamfara. Japa phenomenon among Nigerian youth on the rise as economic challenges persist. Post-harvest losses loom in Kano as traders worry over misuse of storage facilities. And on the international scene, AU Commission Chief urges action on Africa instability. Well, good evening there and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Sakir Ibrahim. Thanks for joining. We start tonight's bulletin with this story. No fewer than 7 people have been killed, while 20 others were abducted after terrorists on Thursday evening attacked Nasarawa Gudel community in Birnin Magaji local government area of Zamfara state. It was gathered that the terrorists came in Toyota Hilux vans, unlike the usual motorcycles. According to a resident of the area, Tika Yusuf, 7 bodies have been recovered, while several others were seriously wounded. Yusuf, who noted that most of the abducted victims are women, added that the entire community has been thrown into confusion. The terrorists, said to be from Gwaska Dankaremi, stormed the community around 6 p.m. in 3 Hilux vans and went straight towards the exit of the community. He said they circled through the outside route and began shooting sporadically when most of the vigilante members in the area had gone out to help Kasheshi Kura. As of the time of filing this report, the Zamfara State Police Command was yet to react to the incident. And the menace of kidnapping is taking a new dimension as terrorists have begun recruiting young minors into the dastardly act. Only recently, 2 minors, Surajo Ruga and Sanda Bube, were allegedly lured into kidnapping by 2 suspected kidnappers, Faruku Usman and Umaru Jemu. In this report, Ishao Adamu exposes how the teenagers fall victim to the new system of recruitment into terrorism. Here's the report.
Surajo and Umaru of Balio village in Binji local government area of Sokoto state were among the 15 suspected criminals paraded by the police in the states. Aged between 13 and 14, the minors were allegedly lured into kidnapping by Usman and Jemu respectively. According to Surajo, their presumed masters took them into a forest where 3 abducted persons were kept and asked them to keep eyes on them.
We are invited to the police command to identify those involved in kidnapping. Those 2 men met us while rearing cattle and carried us on motorbikes to a forest where 3 persons whom they had kidnapped were kept and asked us to keep an eye on them. After a while, the kidnappers returned from town and we left. Since then, we have never gone back to the place.
Teenagers were invited for the assignment after Usman and Jemu successfully abducted Haran Ekidadu, Buba Zaria, and Dumana Gakweri. The 3 kidnapped victims were taken into a forest and tied up with rope before the youngsters were invited to guard them.
Those boys only mentioned my name as a kidnapper, but I have never kidnapped anybody in my life. My friend sitting beside me can confirm this. You can ask him. God knows I am not a kidnapper and I have never involved myself in kidnapping operation.
Police preliminary investigations revealed that the 3 abducted persons regained their freedom after paying 10 million naira each as ransom. However, 3 of the suspects confessed to having committed the offense, while the 4th one denied his involvement in the crime.
We are from the same village with the youngsters. They accused us of kidnapping and that is why we are here. They are alleging that we kidnapped 4 victims who paid 10 million naira each as ransom.
Sokoto State Police Commissioner Alikai Gama said the suspects will be arraigned as soon as the police complete their investigation. Yusho Adamu, Trust TV, Sokoto.
Well, there you have it. We'll now circle back to the first story, talking about the attack in Nasarawa Gudel, Birnin Magaji local government area of Zamfara state. We now have joining us on the News Hour, Isho Adamu. He is Daily Trust regional editor. Isho, welcome to the News Hour. What new developments do we have? 7 people killed and 20 others abducted since Thursday.
Yeah, The information we are receiving, it shows that these bandits are now on the move because of the offensive attack they have been facing from the troops from the Nigerian troops, particularly the operatives of Operation Hadrin Daji. You can recall that these bandits have started attacking villages and towns since Monday. For instance, on Monday, the Nagala and his men were engaged in gun battle with Nigerian troops, where he was critically wounded, and before he retreated to another village to ask his colleagues to send a doctor to remove bullet from his body. Again on Tuesday, another bandit leader attacked a village called Karakai, where they stormed the village around 12 a.m., killing scores and abducted several others, as well as rustling a large number of animals. Again, on the same day, another gang leader, Lansadia, attacked Kaswar Daji, where he killed 3 people, including 2 policemen, and abducted over 40 people, including 21 members of the same family. On Thursday, another gang leader stormed another village called Gyatu. This Gyatu, what we have learned, they attacked the village like 3 weeks ago, and they placed a ransom or a levy of 1.5 million. They gave them the deadline of today. As I'm talking to you now, these people, the information we receive from them is that these bandits have surrounded their village, that if they refuse to redeem their pledges, they will strike against them. This is the situation. Okay. And residents...
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to hold you there for a second, what's the current situation of residents of this community? I mean, you gave out quite a number of attacks that has happened since the last one at Nasarawa Birnin Magaji. But then again, how are the people feeling? What is on their minds? What does it look like on the streets of these communities? Do we have presence of security operatives there who are there to forestall such attacks? Is there anything regarding response time compared to when the attack started to when there was response from the security agencies? Just tell me about how and what residents of these communities are currently feeling like at the moment.
This is what I'm about to say, because I have spoken with some of the residents.
Okay.
Their opinion is that they don't have security operatives around them. Despite the recent commission of the state outfit, community protection guards, they don't have security operatives around them. They said instead of the conventional security to attack and leave their areas, they should be stationed there so that they will abort any attempt of reprisal on the part of the bandits. They are calling on government to do whatever they could to provide them with security. There is no presence of security at all. This is what people are saying. In fact, they are leaving their villages to major towns and villages around.
Quite an unfortunate situation there. Yushao, this attack is seeming to become incessant. In most local communities across the countries, there's normally a community vanguard of vigilantes. In the north, most of them are with the Emirate Council. We have the Mbangas and the likes of that. So, in your opinion, do you think that the activities of such local security outfits in some of these communities is enough to forestall the attack, just in case, in the event that response from security agents might be delayed?
What is happening is that these bandits, they usually come in large number. So if, for instance, they storm or they send a signal that they are going to village A, those residents have to seek for the support of another villages around them to bring their vigilante to that area so that they can confront the bandits. And like I have said, the bandits on their part, they are on the move. Maybe, for instance, if these vigilante left their village to another village to support the resident there, the bandits or another gang of bandits can also visit their village. That is the situation. They are on the move.
Okay, but then again, before I let you go, you know, it's been a couple of days since the first attacks and there's been a couple of attacks afterwards. But has there been any words from the abductors and these non-state actors with regards to the state of those that they abducted? And has there been any question or statement around ransom payment and the likes of that? What's the situation of those who were unfortunately abducted by them?
Sincerely speaking, there is nothing like that, because they kept on attacking, abducting, and killing from one village to another. So there is no response on the part of the bandits to the affected family for them to start maybe discussing about ransom.
Daily Trust Regional Editor Ishaw Adamu, thank you so much for the update. We do hope that the authorities can hear you and will do something about remedying the situation. Have a good evening. And
we hope so. We hope so. Thank you.
All right, then. Moving on now, 16 people, including a reverend father, were abducted when gunmen suspected to be kidnappers attacked 3 villages in Zing local government area of Taraba State on Friday night. Reports say some of the villagers sustained gunshot injuries while trying to escape into the mountains during the attacks. The gunmen who rode on motorcycles were said to be over 100. A source from the area said the gunmen were part of the bandits dislodged by the army and hunters recently at mountainous areas in Yoro local government area. The police public relations officer for Taraba State Command, SP Usman Abdullahi, confirmed the attack but said he was yet to be briefed on the actual number of people abducted. At least 9 people have been killed and 35 others kidnapped following attacks by bandits in Kwasam and Gwada communities of Kaura and Igabi local government areas of Kaduna State. Among those abducted are a retired director of the Central Bank of Nigeria, his brother, and the brother's wife. The bandits also injured 9 people during the attacks in the 2 local government areas. In Kauru local government, 6 persons were killed, 5 abducted, and 2 injured, while in Igabi local government, 3 persons killed, 7 were injured, and 30 others were kidnapped. The incident occurred around 10 p.m. when the bandits invaded the communities, targeting the residence of the retired CBN staff. Meanwhile, Kaduna Governor Ubasani has called for aggressive military operations against bandits in the state following the attacks. The governor sent condolences to the families of the victims and assured them of ongoing efforts to address the security situation. In the meantime, security forces say they're conducting operations in the affected locations. And away from all of that, governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have advised President Bola Tinubu to throw in the towel if he cannot provide sustainable solutions to the problems plaguing the nation. The PDP governors who gave the advice in a statement at the weekend reminded the All Progressives Congress APC-led government of the need to be guided by the fact that it is APC that sought power to solve the problems of Nigeria, not to compound them or shift blame and use propaganda to confuse issues. The governors noted that the hardship and suffering being faced by Nigerians have no tribal, religious, or party coloration, stressing that a hungry man is an angry man. Accordingly, the governor said, while all tiers of government have a role to play, the APC-led federal government has a disproportionate role to mobilize Nigerians and all organs and tiers of government for sustainable solutions, adding that if it cannot do so, it should graciously throw in the towel. They, however, promised to continue to work collaboratively with the president in finding lasting solutions to what they described as a very difficult situation created or exacerbated by the APC since 2015. And the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has reopened Saad Stores, a supermarket located in the Garki area of Abuja. A visit to the supermarket, which is located at the Garki area of the Federal Capital Territory on Saturday, revealed that business activities are gradually picking up after it was sealed on Friday. The supermarket was sealed by an enforcement team for engaging in misleading pricing and lack of transparency in pricing. The SCCPC, in a statement, said investigations revealed that Saad stores displayed lower prices on shelves and charged higher prices at checkout. According to the agency's acting executive vice chairman, Adamu Abdullahi, the commission had invited members of the supermarket management to defend themselves, but they failed to show up. He said the reopening of the store followed commitment from Saad stores to implement transparent pricing practices. Also, owing to the hazy cold weather in Kano and some parts of northern states of Nigeria, tricycle riders in Kano State are lamenting over a reduction in patronage from passengers. Salim Ibrahim has more on the report.
For the past 3 days, the weather has been extremely hazy in Kano State as the cold season bites harder. This has led to the majority of the tricyclists who were used to coming out on the roads as early as 6 a.m. and closed by 10 a.m. courtesy of the state government restriction, now begin to work as late as 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. while closed by 9. Speaking some of the tricycle riders, Yusuf Gentle said the situation is not favoring their business any longer as they, alongside the passengers, don't come out early and they also get off the streets early.
To, yanayi na hazo dai yanzu Allah ya kawo mu wani yanayi mun gode wa Allah.
The nature of the weather does not allow us to come out early. If you go out early, there will be no business at all. We start the day's business around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and immediately after Maghrib prayers, there will be no business, so we have to close for the day. We are pleading with Kano State Governor to relax the 10 p.m. curfew, knowing the hardship people are going through. And as I told you, we don't start our business early.
Also speaking, another tricyclist, Muhammad Sani, lamented that the reduction in patronage is currently putting them on their toes as there is no income to cover up their expenses.
Where we normally pick our passengers early in the morning don't work for us nowadays because of the cold nature of the weather in Kano State, and we close around 9 to 9:30 p.m. because of the 10 p.m. curfew.
Some residents said the fear for diseases is the sole reason why they avoid much movement during the hazy moment.
We are pleading with the government to increase the timing of the curfew to 12 or 12:30 a.m. because passengers don't come out early due to the nature of the dusty weather. Until they are out, that is when we get something to buy foodstuff for our family.
Residents are advised to mind physical contact and cover their bodies as much as possible. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
You're watching the news hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Post-harvest losses looms in Kano as traders worry over misuse of storage facility. This and of course other stories after the break. Join us again. You're welcome back. And if you're just joining, this is the news hour on Trust TV. Now recap of our major stories. Bandits kill 7 people, abduct 20 others in Zamfara. Moving on to more stories now. Following the economic crisis rocking the nation, young Nigerians are intensifying efforts to relocate to other countries, especially Europe and America, as a way of escaping the country's rising unemployment and poverty. Our data gathered by Trust TV revealed that majority of the migrants are from the country's southwest and north central region. Usman Bello now reports.
In search of a better life, young Nigerians are migrating to Europe and America to escape the country's economic hurdles that are driving unemployment and poverty. As at April 2023, the number of Nigerians living outside the country had almost tripled from over 447,000 to 1.6 million between 1990 and June 2020, according to the Migration Control Info. The data shows majority of Nigerians in diaspora come from the country's south-south, north-central and southwest geopolitical zones. However, Trust TV uncovered that unlike the rush to Europe and America, Many low-income and middle-income families from the northern region are making their way to the Middle East and North Africa for better life opportunities.
I graduated almost 5 years now, but don't have any government job. That alone is enough reason to push one to migrate for greener pasture, because even to start business, you need capital. So in my calculation, if you travel to Kuwait and stay there for 2 years, the wealth you will get in that 2 years alone, believe me, even if you retired as a civil servant, you will never get that money. So it is better for you to get that money, invest, and even provide a job for others.
Faced with unemployment and difficult living conditions, Hassan Abdusalam, a Tolo, found his way into Algeria in 2021. He returned home a year later and now has his eyes on Qatar or Kuwait.
I got everything I went there for in Algeria. I made fortunes, I built a house, and I did a lot of things. The rest will remain personal, but I made fortunes and I didn't face any challenge in my quest for wealth. Now I am preparing to go back there or travel out to another country like Kuwait or Qatar, because I have friends there in Qatar.
Hassan's story is similar to that of Abdul Wahid, who for almost 2 decades mastered the art of traditional embroidery of royal attires. He plans to explore his talent in Qatar, where he eventually migrates.
I have finished all preparations. I am just waiting for my visa to travel out anytime soon. I have made part payment as deposit and I will complete the remaining when I started working there, because they will be withdrawing some percentage from my salary.
But while many from the north look to the Middle East for better opportunities, sources in Qatar say it is not all that rosy, as the country's job market has seen a nosedive after the 2022 FIFA World Cup.
I swear, many people here are stranded without jobs. In the last 3 days, over 70 Nigerians, including 4 of my siblings, have left Qatar to return home because they were stranded. They applied for exit to be deported back to their country at no cost. In Qatar, they prefer people from other countries, not Nigeria. If you are from any other African country, you will easily get a job.
Despite these challenges, many young people are still willing to take the risk. For many of the young men planning to migrate, the chain is only made possible through the expertise and connections of agents like Ali Ibrahim, who help process and facilitate the migration dream. Ibrahim explains that the rush to the Middle East has not dropped.
We have processed the migration of at least 30 people to many countries. For some, we process their migration to Dubai, and they're currently in cargo-related businesses and other company works in Dubai. Most of the people I processed their migration to Dubai, I only processed their visa and ticket. I am not the one securing the jobs for them. It is when they go there that they will search for job opportunities themselves, because most of them.
For the Nigerian Immigration Service, it has made it clear that the service is not against Nigerians who wish to migrate, as long as those leaving the country go through legal means. Usman Bello Balarabe, Trust TV, Abuja.
And men of the anti-robbery squad of Osun State Police Command have arrested 6 suspected armed robbers in Oriade local government area of the state. The policemen also arrested a phone software engineer who specializes in assisting criminals to change the International Mobile Equipment Identity Numbers, also known as IMEI numbers, of stolen phones. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade has more on the details.
According to the police, the suspect robbed residents of Ijesha community and carted away valuables, including vehicles, plasma TV, cell phones, gold wristwatch, 8 bags of dry cocoa beans, and 620,000 naira cash. The matter was reported to police, who after investigation arrested the suspect and recovered the stolen items. The suspect confessed to the crime and pleaded for mercy.
Police arrested me for robbery case. They say we steal motorcycle. That's what you bring me here.
I'm begging for mercy. Mercy is triumph over judgment. So I just need mercy, and this is my first and the last. Even armed robber is not my hobby. So just have mercy, in short.
The police also arrested a man for allegedly assisting criminals to change the International Mobile Equipment Identity Number of stolen phones to make it difficult for security operatives to track such phones.
If I reprogram the phone, if the owner did not have IMA on the back of the phone, I will repair the IMA. So
the command called on residents to always cooperate and assist with useful information that will lead to arrest of criminals.
I enjoin all good people of Osun State and the residents not to feel any inhibition in giving us credible information. And they can also rest assured that any information given to us will be treated in the most confidential manner. That's a promise.
The police said the suspect will be charged to court upon completion of the investigation. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Also, operatives of the Anti-Vice Unit, Imo State Police Command, conducted a successful rescue operation, liberating 2 brothers from the clutches of dangerous cultists in Mbiri community, Mbatoli local government area of the state. According to the command spokesperson, ASP Henry Okoye, the arrest of the suspects was part of the command's steadfast dedication to eliminating criminal activities within the state. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise reports.
Recalling their harrowing experience, one of the rescued victims shared with Trust TV News that the community has been enduring terror at the hands of this said group. The 5-man cultist gang has been carrying out their dangerous activities unchecked, waylaying people and snatching their valuables on daily basis. Little did they know that they would become victims of this notorious group. Fortunately, one of them managed to escape the scene and promptly contacted the police, who swiftly swung into action and apprehended the perpetrators. What happened?
Because my brother's life was at stake, and I had to go and rescue my brother. And when I got there, I saw these men with my brother take my phone and demanded me to bring the amount of 200,000.
Narrating their involvement in the crime, the 4 arrested suspects confessed to be a member of Vikings confraternity. They said the guns were handed over to them by their leader, known as Slim or Tog, who is currently at large. One of the suspects sustained bullet wounds during gun duel with the police. The 2 locally made pistols were recovered alongside dangerous substances such as alcohol, hard drugs, stolen phones, among others.
Tog, number 1. So this gun here now is not mine. So I've never been in this kind of situation before. It's not mine. It's Tog's own for protection, for using it to protect Tog as number 1.
The gun was not mine.
But it was found on you.
Belongs to who? Belongs to Slim.
Who?
Slim.
Is Slim here?
That is one of their syndicate who is at large.
The command spokesperson, ASP Henry Okoye, confirmed that the Commissioner of Police, Aboki Danjuma, has issued orders for all the suspects to face the full extent of the law.
Curtis, named Slim, is still at large, and efforts are on top gear to equally arrest him and make him face the full wrath of the law. We are equally intensifying efforts to make sure that we fish out the manufacturers of these locally made guns.
Undoubtedly, Imo State, like several other states in the country, is grappling with significant security challenges. Addressing these issues will require concerted efforts from all stakeholders. The command urges members of the public to come forward with any useful information that could facilitate the successful apprehension and dismantling of criminal elements operating within the states. Collaboration between law enforcement agencies and the community is essential in ensuring the safety and security of all residents. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Also, 3 persons have been reported dead in an accident around Mowe of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in Ogun State. It was gathered that the accident was caused by a container that fell off a truck and trapped the 3 victims said to be occupants of a hobo truck without a plate number. The Ogun Sector Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the accident in a statement on Saturday, blaming the crash on the dangerous driving. The spokesperson, Florence Okpe, said the crash was as a result of the loss of control, adding that the FRSC rescue team tried to save the lives of the victims to no avail due to the impact of the injuries they sustained. She added that their remains were said to have been deposited at a morgue in Shagamu. Quite an unfortunate one there. Also, as the tomato harvest season begins in Kano State, one of the leading fresh tomato markets in the state, Kwanar Gafan Tomato Market, has begun receiving tomatoes for onward supply to other states. However, the lack of storage facilities such as cold rooms, among others, is threatening the market this year. In this special feature, Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the existing structures within the market constructed by the federal government for storing fresh tomatoes have now been converted to rental apartments. Here's his report.
It has been a tradition that whenever there is a bonfire harvest, the story is always that of jubilation and expectation on farmers. Tomato users, fund seekers, and those involved in the sales and supply of farm produce at Konargapan Tomato Market gathered here to enjoy as activities gear up in the markets. It is the season of tomatoes and activities are gradually picking up, as you can see, even though it has not started picking up the way we are expecting it. But this is the beginning of the season. In the next coming of days, weeks, you will see a lot of activities taking place here. This is one of the major markets we have, and a lot of people are coming in here every day to do business. Some 10 years ago, the federal government under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture's Department of Extension Services established a solar-powered cold room for vegetable preservation, especially for tomato and onion. But the structure was not put to effective use for decades. Well, we are hoping that this place that is turned to rooms for rent will one day be transferred to us, because if they give us this facility, I am telling you, we will put it to effective use, and it will in fact transform this market. So we are hoping that the authorities will come, in addition, build roads for us, and then surmount major challenges that we are facing and transfer this facility to us. The place is now converted to rooms for rent under the Tomato Growers and Processors Association. According to traders in the market, for quite some time, they have been trying to see how the facility given to the union can be utilized for the purpose it was created. These and the lack of access of roads within the market, high cost of transportation, among other challenges, threaten tomato business this year.
We are not using it for anything unless that, there are some stores there, some people who used to come and lease the stores to warehouse their agro input there. Some shops there, some people will come and hide and put their own market item there and market it during the
some
season.
Have turned some part of it to rooms.
To rooms, yeah. That is what we are always fighting for, because if we have those who can come and use it as a shop, that's what we prefer.
While activities continue to gather momentum in the market, tomato dealers and farmers are, however, hopeful that the federal government will transfer this facility to the market union for effective use. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Thanks to Idris for that report. Moving on now, a member of the House of Representatives, Dennis Idahosa, has emerged the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress for the Edo State governorship election. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, who is the Edo State Governorship Primary Election Committee chairman, declared Idahosa as the APC flag bearer on Saturday in Benin City following the party's primary election. According to him, Idahosa polled over 40,000 votes to defeat other contestants and will now fly the party's flag in the September 2024 governorship poll. Before the announcement, there was some drama as suspected thugs disrupted the coalition exercise, forcing the election committee to change venue. The suspected thugs had invaded the venue and thrown away cameras belonging to journalists, leaving officials and pressmen scampering for safety. But Governor Uzodinma explained that though there was a mix-up about the coalition venue, the candidate was, however, announced at the right location. And amidst the backdrop of the political turbulence, Rivers State, a cornerstone of Nigeria's economy and a vital oil-producing region, finds itself entrenched in uncertainty. The APC Caretaker Committee chairman in the state, Tony Okocha, has sounded a warning bell, suggesting that without careful intervention, Rivers State could be headed towards a perilous fate. Expressing his concerns, Okocha highlighted the difficulties Rivers State faced under Governor Siminalayi Fubara's leadership since assuming office in May 2023.
Presenting a budget to a four-man assembly when you have 31, not that they are dead, not that they are under suspension. In the first place, 4 members of an assembly of 31 cannot also convene, because the law is clear, it has to be 1/3. 1/3 of 31, is 10. So how do you convene 4 persons and you go there and say you have presented budget? It's like putting something on nothing. The president said, present the budget to an assembly. And so forth and so on. 8 points. Now what the governor is doing, he is cherry picking. And is boasting that he will disobey Mr. President. And I cannot be chairman of a political party that the president himself candidated upon. To see a governor blatantly, brazenly boast that he will disobey Mr. President. And the issue again is, what is the difficulty in the governor? What difficulty does he find or does he have in presenting that same budget that he claimed to have presented to 4? In presenting to 27 assembly members. They are waiting for him. They have written him severally.
And still on developments around the Edo State governorship primaries conducted by the APC, says on Monday, Okpebolo has been declared the winner of a parallel Edo State All Progressives Congress governorship primary. The APC state returning officer, Ogbuaja Stanley Uzoamaka, declared Senator Okpebolo as the winner of the exercise held in Benin City, the Edo State capital, on Saturday. His declaration came just after Governor Hope Uzodinma of the Imo State, who heads the APC election committee for Edo State, announced Dennis Idahosa as the winner of the poll. But the group has dismissed Uzodinma's declaration, maintaining that the Imo governor's post is only ceremonial. The election conducted by the Uzodinma group was marred by disruption from suspected thugs who stormed the Results Coalition venue in the GRA area of Edo State. They threw away chairs and cameras mounted by journalists, a development that saw APC officials and pressmen scampering for safety. The drama forced the election officials to change the venue of the coalition exercise. And away from South Nigeria to the northeast, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has assured that his administration will work to ensure sustained peace in the state. Governor Zulum stated this at the Kanami Borno Cultural Summit Colloquium in Maiduguri. According to the governor, the event, which is being hosted after more than a decade of insurgency, indicates that peace has returned to the state and the northeast region. He urged to foster peace and build resilience through its 25-year development framework and ensure the promotion, values and cultural heritage of the Kanem Empire. The Minister of Arts and Culture, Hannatu Musawa, in a remark said the ministry will establish an international museum of the Kanem Empire in Abuja to showcase the rich cultural heritage of the Kanuri tribe.
Present administration is much committed to the preservation and the promotion of our culture and demonstrated in the various supports given to the Borno State Council for Arts and Culture to participate in national cultural events where many laurels were won and fame. The federal government of Nigeria, in partner with the new Ministry of Culture, promote our own culture across.
Together, let us seize this opportunity to forge new partnerships, exchange ideas, and drive meaningful change in our communities. One of the great things that the presidents of Nigeria did was to create the Ministry of Art, Culture, and Creative Economy. In our country is a need for cultural expansion.
Welcome back. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka-Anite, says over $30 billion has been committed to Nigeria's economy by both foreign and domestic investors. The minister disclosed this during the second edition of the ministerial press briefing held in Abuja. Trust TV's Chamun Dabeng reports.
According to the minister, the nation's bilateral relations have been successful in generating major investment announcements as well as trade cooperation opportunities for Nigeria.
We are signing an MOU with the German government to provide us curriculum. That curriculum is an international certification. We're also signing an MOU with City and Guild, you know it, the UK certifying agency, to also give us certification for those who meet and pass the qualifying test for this upskilling. What that means is that our people, Nigerians, can take a certificate and work anywhere in the world. You can go anywhere and show them a certificate of competency and you'll be hired to do the job that you know best how to. And you can earn a commensurate income for your own abilities and your competency.
The minister disclosed that Nigeria is presently negotiating its position in the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, which is believed to be the world's largest free trade area, with a combined GDP of $3.4 trillion and providing access to a market with over 1.3 billion people dispersed across 54 African Union member states.
Now we're creating a Nigerian version here to support our SMEs to be able to facilitate trading and increase global market access for them. On the back of that, we have a call center that helps us to reach to them and them to reach us to be able to remove whatever bottlenecks that they have to make it easier for them to trade. We've gone into a number of bilateral agreements and you will see the impact of all of that.
Uzo Anite revealed that the federal government is working towards empowering 10 million artisans in the next 2 years, stating that they will be trained under the Skill Up Artisans program. She added that the government is also targeting another 1 million job creation in talent exchanging program, which will enable Nigerians to work abroad.
And to talk more on business, Chiamaka Nwafo is standing by.
Starting with stocks, a total turnover of 1.559 billion shares worth 36.497 billion naira in 42,546 deals was traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry led the activity chart, followed by the conglomerates industry, while consumer goods came third. The NGX All Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 3.79% to close the week at 105,702.78 basis points and 57.850 trillion naira respectively. 35 equities appreciated in price during the week, with 51 equities depreciating, while 68 equities remained unchanged. Africa's economic growth fell to 3.2% last year from 4.1% in 2022, the African Development Bank said on Friday, but projected higher growth this year for all regions except Central Africa. The AFDB said political instability and China's economic slowdown were compounding the shocks of COVID-19 and Russia's war in Ukraine. The final figure for 2023 was below the 3.4% growth the AFDB had forecast in November. It also caught its regional growth estimates for Central and North Africa amid a recession in oil producer Equatorial Guinea and the aftermath of devastating flooding in Libya. Despite the shocks befitting the region, 15 African countries posted economic growth of more than 5% last year, the AFDB said, including Ethiopia, which is restructuring its external debt, Ivory Coast, Democratic Republic of Congo, Mauritius, and Rwanda. The bank forecast faster growth in all regions except for Central Africa in 2024, with Southern Africa seen as remaining the laggard at 2.2% compared with 5.7% in East Africa. That's how much we have on business. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
Thank you, Chiamaka. Moving on now, President Bola Tinubu on Saturday said Africa must forge partnerships that transcend borders and sectors, leveraging collective expertise, knowledge, resources, and the private sector to address the complex challenges confronting the health sector. Tinubu stated this at the Ministerial Executive Leadership Program of the 37th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He said Africa's effective collaboration with the rest of the world to tackle existential health challenges is not merely a strategic choice, but a moral imperative. On the international scene, the chairman of the African Union Commission has called on leaders to tackle conflicts in the continent and condemned a series of coups in some African countries. Musa Faki Mahamat made the call on his first day of the two-day AU summit. The war in Sudan and instability in the Democratic Republic of Congo are at the top of the African bloc's agenda. The conflict between Israel and Hamas, poverty, climate change and education are other key topics to be discussed. In his remarks to delegates at the summit in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, Faki, who heads the AU Secretariat, which manages the day-to-day activities of the bloc, said he was extremely worried about a litany of difficulties facing the region. He expressed concern over the instability in the Democratic Republic of Congo, saying the conflict in the east of the country was worsening its crisis.
In this regard,
also, thousands of demonstrators have gathered in Senegal's capital, Dakar, demanding swift presidential elections. It comes after the country's top court blocked President Macky Sall's attempt to postpone the election originally scheduled for this month. Sall's last-minute decree, backed by Parliament, had triggered a political crisis in Senegal, once regarded as a bastion of democracy in West Africa. On Saturday, opposition supporters held signs demanding a free Senegal. It is the first rally allowed by authorities since Sall's announcement 2 weeks ago. Protesters in Dakar wore T-shirts emblazoned with the words, "Protect our election," named after the collective organization of religious and civil groups opposed to Sall's controversial decree. And in sports, world number one Iga Swiatek on Saturday won the Qatar Open for the third year in a row after beating Elena Rybakina in the final. Swiatek is the first player to win 3 straight titles at the same WTA event since Serena Williams completed a Miami Open hat-trick from 2013 to 2015. Rybakina fell short in her bid for a third title of the year. She had lifted the trophy last week in Abu Dhabi after winning Brisbane at the start of January. Swiatek, who entered the final having won her last 21 sets at the tournament, made a dreadful start as she fell a double break behind at 1-4. She saved 2 set points early in the second set before putting her foot down to sweep into a 3-1 lead. A second break of the Kazakh in the 7th game left Swiatek on the cusp of victory, which she wrapped up in 2 hours and 19 minutes. And also, Rodri's goal picked a point for Manchester City to deny Chelsea victory and maintain his side long unbeaten home record. Raheem Sterling gave Chelsea the lead before halftime off a brilliant counter-attack, meeting Nicholas Jackson's cross to curl a shot home. Well, Erling Haaland had a worst miss coming when he headed wide from Kevin De Bruyne's cross. The citizens were facing their first home league defeat since November 2022 until Rodri struck 7 minutes to go. The draw sees City drops to third in the table, 4 points behind leaders Liverpool. With a game in hand, Chelsea minutes at 10th on the log. Meanwhile, Liverpool and Arsenal post emphatic wins earlier on Saturday. Mohamed Salah scored on his return from injury as Liverpool beat Brentford. Also, Darwin Núñez put Liverpool ahead with a superb chip before Alexis McAllister poked in a second at the G-Tech Community Stadium. And that wraps up the news hour on Trust TV. Do also follow us across all of our social platforms and also join our live stream on YouTube for more news, programs, and documentaries. I'm Tagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for watching and have a good night.